a pretty decent PayPal balance on it, so I had to buy a couple things so I wouldn't buy a like a like a Grand Max.
Yeah, I imagine Kim at this point would be kind of annoyed if a Grand Max just showed up at your present doorstep.
Yeah.
Or, any box the size of a Grand Max.
Yeah.
I wonder what giant boxes I have around here that I could put nothing valuable in and send to you.
She was here when Scorponaut came, and she was okay.
Maybe she was tired.
Yeah. Yeah. But Grand Max is well more than...
expensive, yeah.
There's a really nice one on Artfire 2000 right now. Like, it's...
How much?
It's in the box. He already had one or two in the box. But this one, the tower clips aren't broken. It's...
How much is it?
$21.50.
That's less than Battle Gaia.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not under no circumstances am I going to buy it. But, So I did buy, actually we're streaming, so I better not share. So I have it for next week. But I do have a couple things on the way. Nothing like, a Grand Max.
I'm hoping I'll have something interesting for next week. I barely have anything this time.
I've got quite a bit this week, but none of it's great.
I didn't find no damn Snapdragon.
Oh, God. 2 of the 3 modes. One mode is excellent. One mode is pretty darn good. And that's it. They're just 2 modes for Snapdragon.
Sounds like 8-Face.
Yeah. No, he's better than 8-Face. He is light years better than 8-Face.
Hopefully my really cheap Target pre-order will get filled someday. And also my cheap Walmart pre-order for Skylinks.
Yeah, my Walmart had Jetfire once.
I can't remember at this point if I actually saw a Jetfire on the shelf.
I never saw it on clearance, I don't think, though.
I did. That's how Rob got his.
That's how Rob got his, yeah. Should bring up the chat.
Well, with any luck, history will repeat, and Rob will have a Skylinks for Christmas, too.
Oh, that'd be great.
Well, I've got a Skylinks on pre-order from Walmart if the cheap pre-order ever happens.
Yeah, me too. But since I've still yet to get the hot link that I was supposed to have a month and a half ago, my...
I assume you bought a hot link, though, in store, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but because I saw one of those in the stores, I can't, like, my Walmarts, I don't even think really stock leaders anymore.
Ooh.
Well, no, because I did get Optimus Prime, but that was the only time I saw him there.
The last leader class stuff I saw was when I got Siege Astro Train. And that was, November?
Oh, God, that was a leader, wasn't it?
Yeah. At least Double Dealer feels beefier than most of the other leaders.
Yes, and floppier, too.
Okay, small steps, though. Small steps.
I do like him, though. But, I mean, he's basically just the G1 Double Dealer with more joints.
Knees. Yeah.
Yes. So I have both of those. But
So obviously we'll share this for the show. Maybe we should put the 2 items together. But Hasbro's income is such that their loss for the quarter was $33 million. So other companies might not sneeze at $14 million, but $14 million is what Wei Zhang had sold in Transformers. So maybe that's another reason that, and the Disney thing, but I'm just saying, You know,
What Disney thing? What am I missing?
Wei Zhang apparently had moved. I didn't see this in any news item. This is just based on what people had shared on Twitter. But they started knocking off some sort of Iron Man figure.
Yeah, they started knocking off Hot Toys Iron Man figures, and
Yeah, that's what brought the hammer down, I believe.
that's the story.
But that's Hot Toys, though.
They angered the mouse.
Yes, but I wouldn't be surprised if Hasbro, was involved too. I have always said that Hasbro would tolerate third party right up until they weren't making money.
Yeah.
This isn't third party though, but this
It's
is also a discussion that we're supposed to have during the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but dogpiling on the person who's selling the fourth party MP44.
I shouldn't take
satisfaction in seeing somebody get, dogpiled, but
go ahead. Sometimes it's appropriate.
yeah.
Like I said, there's no such thing as fourth party. That is a counterfeit. That is why Wei Zhang got in trouble.
But again, the discussion for the show.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Something not for the show, though. Don's not here to defend them. But, like, the official policy, the official stance of Radio Free Cybertron is counterfeits are bad. Yeah. Not good. The official stance. Diecast may disagree, Don may disagree, but it's the official policy. Theft is bad.
Where is Diecast anyway?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh.
Oh, you said his name.
Yeah.
Oh, there
I
he
think
is.
I would know better.
Diecast.
Is that the Technodrome?
What?
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Nice.
I can't remember where I got it from, so
I would assume you got it from the internet.
probably. I don't think it came from Taobao though, surprisingly.
So it didn't come in a baggie?
No.
Missing a sleeve?
It was supposed to have long sleeves, but it came short.
So, Don's not going to be
I
here
was-
at Diecast.
Oh, he's still having computer
He
problems.
bought a new computer. I told him the one to buy.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, he did buy one?
Yeah. He wasn't
That's
happy
good.
about it.
I know he wasn't. But
It was an
Did he at
Opti-
least get an i5?
it's a Dell Optiplex i5 with 16 gigs of RAM.
Nice.
that could
Okay.
hold him a while.
Yeah.
That'll last him until at least next year.
I'm pretty sure he had a virus or the operating system was just badly corrupted.
I mean, who knows?
I was thinking that, or either that, or the main board was starting to go up. Cause
I would actually more suspect that.
That was
That
my
thing
thought.
That thing
Yeah.
he had was a few years old, and his house is full of cat hair.
Well, that
Yeah.
if any of his his Ethernet adapter was USB because he said his other one wasn't working, so he got a USB one. So
His old one wasn't working, so I told him to get a USB. That's what he's been using for months. And that
Yeah.
one died, and he got another USB.
Which apparently didn't work at all.
Which apparently, well, it's not. I don't think it was that the USB adapter died. I think it was that fact that his modem was probably fried or something.
poor Don.
Yeah. Says no.
He was really desperate for help if he asked me.
Yeah, I had to tell him like 3 times though. I'm like, hey, if this Diecast loves doing this stuff. This is his thing. Go to him.
Yeah, I feel bad because I wish I could have helped him more. You know what I mean? I'm like, do you have any other wireless devices in your house that you can like?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have He didn't have wireless in his house.
No, he doesn't have. He doesn't have a route. He doesn't have a. I think he plugs directly into his
wireless router.
modem.
Yeah, so I was telling him he was going to get Christie's laptop and try and plug that in to see if he could get internet on that to rule out if it was the modem or not.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine living without Wi-Fi. Like, it's
I
fine
can.
to have the computer hardwired for best performance, but like Wi-Fi is an option for other stuff.
My
at
goal
least.
for the new house is to, when at all possible, have Ethernet run to every room.
Yeah, and that's fine. But I mean, still,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, you have portable devices that you want to be able to have Wi-Fi for.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I thought maybe he used, because his data plans are usually limited, I thought maybe he would use his cell phone over Wi-Fi when he's home,
Nope.
but apparently he doesn't. So
If he's ever had overages, he might want to think about getting something because it will save him money.
Well, I mean, as strange as it may seem to us, it seems to work for Dawn. So
That's true, and that is the more important factor.
I felt bad because I really wanted to help him out.
you just
Yeah,
wanted to make him in your debt. That's all.
No. I just wanted to be able to do something nice for him if I could.
Yeah. Well, you did at least try, and that's got to count for something.
I'm actually printing a space bridge right now on my 3D printer.
Oh, nice.
Brian, I don't know if you ever seen these sharks that are like, they're like all connected and stuff. But you can see the back half of this went well, and then the
Mhm.
front half of this exploded, and I don't know
Oh.
why.
Did you leave it in the microwave too long?
Yeah, I don't know what I did wrong. Which is apparently how 3D prints work sometimes. You just
That's exactly
don't
how
know.
it worked.
Yeah, as far as I understand, that's how they work most of the time.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said your brother might want, if I can't get that 3D printer back up and running, he might want it.
I think so. Yeah.
So, you know,
Oh, he would love that as a project.
So, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure that it's going to work when I get it put back together, but I've decided that I'm not putting it back together.
Okay.
So,
That's understandable.
it should only take about 30 minutes to do it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a frustration in my life that I don't want right now.
Okay. Well, for
And it
Jay
gives
and
you
me,
an excuse to buy
frustration.
another one later.
Yeah, I'll just,
That will work. That will work with his awesome new internet.
Yes.
yeah, I will. So my goal is to get a different one here in about a year or two, and just not bother with it right now because I don't have time for it. So I will try to find a box and pack it up, and if it's not like ridiculously expensive, I'll ship it out to you. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know in a couple of days once I find a box.
Okay. Cool.
Even if it costs like that computer you sent me, I more than imagine Jay would probably be interested in, pitching into the shipping to have that thing.
Yeah, we can do that. That's no problem.
Oh, Chris, you'll like this. So
Will I though? Will I?
Will. You'll find it funny, I think.
Will I?
You know how last week I said I got a Montana, which is the DX9?
Yeah.
Well,
Did you get another one?
Not only did I get a full Montana,
You got North Dakota too?
pretty much I got like every possible replacement part you can think of.
What?
I got, extra
Wow.
front hood pieces. I've got an extra crotch piece and arm pieces.
I wish I
And,
had an extra crotch piece.
2 sides of the car. For whatever reason, they were all shoved in the box with this and a spoiler. So I've got, other than like the main body, all the parts that come off the car, I've got one of each.
Well, it's nice to have spares.
Yeah, I just opened up the box and I was like, so did they like ship replacement parts with this figure and they were supposed to take them out for other people or something? Like, I don't know.
That's an odd one.
Yeah.
Maybe this
So
is
sometimes I get extra
foreshadowing.
pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, like is there reports of breakages with that figure?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, it's weird.
Also, a full Montana sounds like something that would be against our Roku TOS dimension.
And possibly laws in several states.
Yes.
I got the full Montana.
So my Walmart had the like really hyped up right now $5 Marvel Legend markdowns. Except all they have is, was it Rock Python, Shuri, and one comic Loki.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, mine are $11.
Ooh, I would probably think about a $5 rock python.
I can probably really easily get you one. They've had most of those rock pythons forever.
I paid $10 for Loki at Target like 8 months ago.
I don't really need all the Serpent Society, though.
I thought you were going for full Serpent Society, no?
No, as far as I know, the only ones that were ever in the Masters of Evil were Python, Princess, and Constrictor, and I've already got Constrictor.
Hmm.
Well, if you just put a dress on rock python, me and Hey Mickey did that with Kamen Rider V3 once.
Show notes. Let's go.
I miss hanging out with Mickey.
I miss hanging out.
Well, for me, that's kind of one and the same because Hey Mickey was the only person I had to hang out with.
It looked like, oh, it's going to get better. Oh, no, it's going to get worse again.
I never believed it was going to get better.
No.
I'm an optimist. I thought it was going to get better.
I'm a realist.
Yeah. Gotta wait for the inoculation.
I'm a crank, but I also saw that nobody was ever actually doing anything to make it get better, so I knew it wouldn't.
I've seen people like legitimately pushing back against the things that do make it better. So
Same.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And this
So,
afternoon on Twitter, I saw someone talking about the chips and salsa at Mexican restaurants, and that just made me sad because I haven't been to a Mexican restaurant in at least 6 months.
Yeah.
I got more grocery store sushi today just because, like, I'm sad that I can't go to Sushi Train. But you remember a few weeks ago I was saying I thought that the good Chinese place in town here had died because of the virus killing business? I was wrong. They are still open.
Yay.
They've replaced their front door with a big, heavy piece of wood that has a little window in it that has a little door.
Yeah, that's what mine's done as well. Yeah.
It looked really neat, and I'm glad they're still around. I didn't get any food from them today, but that was because the timing was bad. I still had like 3 other places to go after leaving that part of town. And while, fresh lo mein will stay hot for quite a while, it's just not the same unless you can eat it within 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, beef lo mein, though.
Yeah, lo mein has to be fresh.
Pretty fresh, yeah.
I like the Chinese restaurants that do the really thin beef on a stick.
Oh,
Teriyaki
yeah.
beef.
Hey, making me hungry.
And we're talking about food again.
Yeah. So I actually got...
Wow, it's almost like I did that on purpose, Matt.
So I got 2 lunch specials today at lunch for plans to have it for lunch and dinner today. It actually turned out it was going to be lunch, dinner, and lunch for tomorrow. So I decided I didn't want to do more after I couldn't finish my lunch because I was tired of Chinese food. So the dogs got it. They loved the General Tso's. I was shocked.
Well, if it's like any of the General Tso's I can get, they probably just enjoyed that it was full of sugar.
Yeah.
Dogs do like sweets.
Oh, hell yeah, they do. Bum, ba, 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 bum, ba, bum, ba, ba, bum. So yeah, Rob, when I send that to you and Jay, I'll send the pictures for what it needs to look like when it gets put back together.
Okay, great.
It's literally been sitting in my basement since May, and I haven't gotten back around to fixing it, so I'm not going to.
Understandable.
Puzzles always work better when you have a picture of what it looks like when it's finished.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Brian's done with it already.
Yeah, I mean, it sat in the basement in a perfectly working order for like 2 years without me touching it. And
yeah, that's kind of a sign, isn't it?
yeah, it's not a technology that I care about.
At least not at this stage.
I mean, I got those Masters of the Universe stands printed. That's good enough for me. I just realized I sold like half of those figures, and I don't. Okay, I have more stands than I need.
I was about to say, did you sell the stands with them and get extra though?
No, they're not. They're like not polished enough to be sellable. Not, I don't think so anyway. I really just want a like a what is it, the Lugu Mars?
Oh, the Elegoo, I think.
Elegoo. Brainy no worky.
Yeah, Elegoo Mars, I think, and then the other one's the Photon by Anycubic.
Yeah. My
Those
buddy,
are the two leading resin 3D printers.
yeah, I mean, there are problems with those, but
There's problems with any of them.
yeah, but the prints come out so nice.
Yeah. Clean, high detail.
Yeah.
I think mine's doing, other than the failed print that I have, if I can print this space bridge and a couple other Transformers things and maybe some Marvel Legends stands, I'll be happy.
Well, first you have to get one successful print.
I've had a couple. That was the first
Out of how
one
many?
that failed. How many successful prints?
No, how many failed prints? How many successful prints out of how many failures?
Oh, I've had like 5 or 6 successes and 1 failure.
Damn.
So, and it sucks. I should have set up a time lapse camera on it. That way I could see what actually happened. But
You could just start. You can set up a camera on it and just like start live streaming it to your YouTube channel. That'll be your new form of content.
yeah, watch me print stuff. It's almost as good as Brian's watch my cat poop.
Yeah, watchmycatshit.com. I should bring that back. I never had more than 2 people watching it.
I thought Kim kind of, killed that.
She didn't like it, but in the new house, the cat litter will be out of her range. The cats are going to live in the basement with me.
The cats aren't allowed on the main floor.
No, they're not going to be.
Really?
Yeah. They destroy furniture.
Oh, okay.
So the basement will only have old furniture, like the furniture they're used to now, so it'll be home. Max will be upstairs. They've started fighting anyway.
Max and the cats?
Yeah, Max and Buddy get into it.
Really?
Yeah.
That is a shit.
Yeah. But, the cats are old. They'll live out their golden years with me in the basement.
I'm sure they're thrilled.
Oh, they actually are.
Locked in a basement for the rest of our lives.
I mean, that's more room than... The basement is more space than they have now.
Yeah. Chris, your Triptychon, or
Scorpion, but not.
Your Scorponok is taunting me.
Good.
You don't have it yet?
No, because Big Bad Toy Store takes a month to ship out their pile of loots.
So I'll be straight up honest with you. I think it took them a week to ship mine, but I finally got it.
They had mine to me in like 4 days.
No, mine actually shipped yesterday. So it was 1 day away from being a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether I'm more shocked that Big Bad Toy Store shipped my stuff faster than anybody else, or that I have something before diecast.
I'm waiting for Grand Liner to come in so I can ship them together.
I'm also waiting for my Grand Liner to come in stock, but not from Big Bad.
Yeah. You got yours from Toku Collectibles, right?
Yeah.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
I've never used them before, so I put in my first order with them for Liner.
I wonder if they have a podcast. And if they want to buy tokupodcast.com or TokuCast, whatever it is. I really wish somebody would buy that and the wrestling podcast and the TMNT podcast domains. and the Joe cast, especially with Joe Biden probably being president. Somebody should buy that from me.
Mm-hmm. But G.I. Joe Classified is... I love my Destro. He is, like, amazing.
Okay, Diecast volunteered for the G.I. Joe podcast.
No. I want somebody to buy the domain.
It'll be a patron one-off, and we'll call it the G.I. Joe Classified Files.
Yeah, I have it up for sale for like $500. So I did sell. I forgot which one I sold, but I sold one recently for like $500.
Nice.
Recently, like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, my Grand Liner and Liner Boy are already prepaid, so I'm just waiting for them to come in and get shipped.
What are they?
More Super Money Pockets.
Okay.
The Super Train Megazord and the Max Solar Zord, if you remember them better that way.
Yeah, the rest of the Lightspeed Rescue stuff.
No Victory Mars, apparently.
I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
It
really
would have been
care.
nice.
I don't really care about the design. I'm not into it, really.
I rather like it, but I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, they're just so close to being like complete for that series.
I'm going to check on my print real quick before we start. Make sure it didn't blow up yet.
Good luck.
I'm rewatching Gingaman now, so I want those as mini plus sets.
That'd be good, yeah. Especially because the original deluxe toys are mighty expensive,
Yeah.
and I think they also have breakage issues. Although I think a lot of those older ones did ultimately.
Hey, Rodimus, though, if you want to buy joecast.com and keep Joe Biden from being president with a polemic every week about Joe Biden, you can buy it. $500, it's yours. I think you'd be great. I think that'd be a great podcast for you to produce.
Did your print fail yet, Diecast?
No, it's actually going well. Has a nice base so far, so.
Good.
And most of the time I print like overnight because I'll get home from work, I'll set it up. If I have to change filaments or anything, I'll change filaments for color. And then usually it's done by the morning when I wake up.
One thing I'm disappointed by with Super Mini Paw is that they didn't finish the Mega Ranger stuff, because like Super Mini Paw Mega Voyager.
Yeah, you can inject that right in my veins.
Mm.
I love the Mega Voyager.
I mean, they could still skip the Mega Winger. I don't really care that much about that.
I'd want it just for the wings for...
I guess, but I never cared about that function. It just seems so half-assed.
Yeah, the entire Zord doesn't even combine with it. It just,
Yeah.
Here's my wings. Yeah.
Are you talking about the movie Zord?
No. Power Rangers in space.
Okay. I heard they hear the wings and the Falcon just kind of clips on the back of the movie Zord.
Oh no, we have those.
Yeah.
I even built mine.
Mine's holding a door open somewhere.
I have the Legacy one.
Yeah.
I have that too. Yeah.
I still don't know what I got.
I have the original in a box somewhere.
Yeah, so do I, yeah. Well, I know
found
where it
an
is,
original-
actually. It's at my parents' house.
I found an original Falcon Zord at the comic book store in Nashville, which I didn't have a Ninja Megazord or Shogun Megazord at the time, so I got it and handed it off to Hey Mickey because he had a Shogun Megazord at the time, I think. He might have had both, I don't know. And then Ben
I know he has a
split off.
Shogun.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I know he has the Shogun because he painted the pink one white, and I
White,
can't imagine what kind of hell that was trying to accomplish.
Well, I guess to him that was better than the hell of having a pink armed Shogun Megazord. Because you know how he is about stuff having to just, be the way he wants to see it.
Yes.
And, if you have the ability to actually, make that kind of stuff happen, that's great, and, go for it. I just kind of have to usually live with stuff as it comes because my capacity is fairly limited. I think it's about showtime, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Brian? Kilby?
I have a feeling.
One sec.
I was about to say, I have a feeling something kid related is happening now.
Oh, there's no telling.
No, I'm just trying to get this domain sold.
Oh.
I just figured he was trying to go get some like caffeine.
I should be
I
chewing
thought
some
he
gum.
I thought he left because we were talking about Power Rangers again.
Okay, I need to turn my video on so you know I'm here.
Yeah, it's also convenient so we have like visual reference for what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Hey Matt, what Ranger am I missing from the Mighty Morphin? From the Hasbro line? Because I remember you said Space or the Psycho Rangers finished first.
You only have the Black Ranger if you got the one with the Dragon Shield.
Yes. Yeah, I have that one.
You only have the Green Ranger if you got the Fighting Spirit one that's painted wrong.
What did he come with?
Putty.
Putty. Yeah, then I do have him.
Presumably
Yeah,
they
'cause-
did that
yeah,
as
'cause
Fighting
the origi-
Spirit so that they could release a normal one individually later.
Absolutely.
Okay. You guys good? Let's do it. Do.
Yep.
Recording here. Recording here. We're recording everywhere. Oh, that's the snipping tool, not the MP3 recorder.
Yeah, that's an important difference.
Yeah. Okay, cool. 3, 2, 1. This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 685. I'm Brian Kilby. With me this week, we have people. We have Matt.
Hey.
We have Diecast.
I'm a people.
You're a people.
No.
We have Rob.
Hello.
We have Chris.
We're making the whole orange side of the screen over here.
No. We may have John. I don't know. Mostly listening.
Yo. I'm here.
And we have Don. Oh, wait. Don's not here. Don doesn't have a computer.
He's in a period of transition.
Yeah, hopefully next week he'll have a computer. So, I did recommend the computer that he currently has. So hopefully I can make it up to him by recommending a better one this time.
Well, didn't you recommend the one he has to him like 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Determined.
And
So I think he got a useful lifespan out of it. I don't think there's anything to make up.
And I will be honest with you, because he was very cost conscious, I recommended like a very inexpensive computer with a budget processor. Budget everything, really. So the new computer's a little better.
Unfortunately, he got what he paid for.
He got what he paid for.
He got more mileage out of that thing than you would really expect, though.
Don's
All
current
that
computer
shit.
his current computer is not much more than a netbook. Yeah.
And remember, he did all those TFYLP estimate or
Episodes on it.
podcasts on
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So poor Don. But he'll be back next week, so we'll get to love on and pick on Don. We do one thing, I get 2 bits of feedback all the time. One, I love hearing you guys, poke on Don. It's funny. Or you guys pick on Don way too much. I don't know what your problem is with Don. We love Don.
Yeah.
Genuinely, we love Don. And if it wasn't for Don, we'd be picking on Diecast, and it wouldn't be nearly as fun.
I still pick on Diecast,
Yeah.
and I have fun.
Yeah, so it's not as fun to pick on Diecast. We love Diecast, but Don is just so pickable. He's like a Pillsbury Doughboy. He's going to poke him in the belly. Actually, that's abuse. I'll move on. I'll shut up. So, we have having some fun in the chat this evening at tfradio.net/discord. I'm trying to convince
I
Rodimus
had to
Supreme.
look away.
I'm trying to convince Rodimus Supreme to buy one of my domains, and it's not working. But if you want a domain for like your G.I. Joe podcast or your Toku podcast or your Ninja Turtle podcast, let me know. So it's But we're having fun here with our chat. We love our chat. tfradio.net/Discord when you watch live. tfradio.net/live every Wednesday. We should do a live stream. We were talking about doing one this past weekend for San Diego Comic-Con at home, but it didn't.
Yeah, that went nowhere.
It fell through, but we should do one here soonish. So that would be cool. Let's see here. Hey, so we're going to have some changes to our Discord, but not our Discord. Never going to change our Discord. Should we change our Discord? Maybe like add some color to it.
Make me an admin so I can kick people.
Oh yeah, maybe not. But we're going to do some changes to our Patreon. Minor changes. So for our touched patrons, which is a good chunk of our patrons, which is awesome. Thank you. That's our top tier. One of the we have a physical reward for that one, which is trading cards for the RFC crew. I've only gotten die cast out. And I need to do the rest. So what I'm going to do is do the rest in one go. So if everybody who is a touched patron, actually, I believe I'm going to do it for anyone I think we have one person who is no longer a touched patron who was at one point. Even that person, I'm going to do the rest of the cards basically all in one go. And we're going to end that physical reward. It's just not clicking. We want to make sure that we do what works. So we're going to do some original content for the touched patrons. We'll figure it out. But we'll figure out what that looks like. But we actually do have some other content. I'm going to start, and I think we'll have different folks on the show with me. It'll actually be a weekly podcast. A segment that we used to do on the show each week was This Week in History. It was actually sort of a classic segment that JD introduced to the show when we started doing it again. He actually, I believe, stole it from the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, and they stopped doing it years ago. But that was a fun segment. So what we're going to do, the problem with it is that when you just talk about the same week each year, it gets kind of redundant. But what we're going to do is, to make this a podcast that is fun and interesting, is we are actually going to focus on, and so that we don't run out of content after 1 year. There's so many years and decades going on with Transformers now that we can sort of focus in on what was going on. I'm going to call it on the fives. What was going on 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35 years ago. And then we'll run out of content in 5 years. So that's not a big deal. So, but we're going to do a little more exploration with that. We're going to do that weekly. I don't think it'll be like a long podcast, maybe 15 or 20 minutes, sometimes 30. But that'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing that. We'll probably start that here in about the next 2 weeks. So, and I should do it by, it happens that it's published monthly, but I should really just do it as a number. The July, RSC Throwback podcast for patrons. It comes out, so that This Week in History will be for all tiers. RSC Throwback is available to Touched, which is our top patron, and Matrix Bears, which is our second from the top tier. You get that 2 months in advance before everybody else, but that is also now a patron exclusive podcast. I just think that it's more for our super fans, people who really love the show. What I find sometimes is when we post a podcast like that, it gets lost in the fray as far as downloads go. Like, RSC chugs along, the daily update chugs along, but sometimes one like that might get like fewer listeners than the others. So I'm going to really just focus it on the people that we know who, really are super fans of the podcast. So we'll make that one an exclusive. But the episode for July is actually going to post, I think, on the first day of August. But the topic for this month I'll be looking at the two Commodore 64 Transformers games. We'll be talking about that. And also the one,
there were two.
Yeah. So there is the one that was also released on the Sinclair Spectrum or whatever it was. On the ZX Spectrum. And That same game is also released on the Commodore 64. Then there was a sequel to that one called Battle to Save the Earth that came out, and it is really cool looking. So, especially for being such a, as old a game as it is. So I'm going to actually play that and talk about it on the show. So I'm looking forward to that. So be a lot of fun. And that's pretty much the updates that we have right now going on with Patreon. We actually tried to do a podcast each month where we answer questions from patrons and do a live stream. It's called It's a Done Deal, but Don doesn't have a computer this week, so we're not going to do it. We may get it out next month, early next month, when he has a computer again. But we do have one question from our Patreon I wanted to mention. Basically, the content, it's not a question, it says, but more of a request. Maybe for your Evergreen show, Throwback, I'd really love to hear in depth how each of you guys curates and keeps your collections. Why do you choose what you do, what you have in them, what's going on, and how do you choose items to go back and decide what to get? So you're so different. The spotlight on each of you would be amazing. So we did something sort of kind of like that with that collections show, but I don't think we went into that specifically. So that might actually be a pretty cool topic to get into for a throwback. Maybe next week we'll record that and put that out for the August show. We'll see.
Well, Spider Bob just gave us the cover art for Don's next podcast.
Oh my God.
tfradio.net/Discord. Join us live every Wednesday night.
Yeah, I'm going to have to copy the URL and put that on here. That is amazing. Don is the Pillsbury Doughboy. He's popping fresh.
Now, would that be the Pillsbury Don's Boy or the Pillsbury Dough Don?
The Pillsbury Dough Don. That is the name for this episode. The Pillsbury Dough Don. Don's not even here. That's great.
Don is always here.
Don is ever present. Oh my God, that's lovely. I love it. The Pillsbury Dough Don.
Well, that's not the word I would use for it, but I knew you'd want to see that.
Yeah. Let's add that segment though to the list of things we need to record. We'll put that up there. So did anybody get anything this week? Diecast, you got a bunch of stuff in bags. That's not like meth. Can you tell us what it is?
I got stuff in bags.
You showed it.
Oh,
in pre-show.
actually, the bags came in a box.
You got like a bunch of little parts.
That wasn't Transformers related.
I'm not talking about the meth. I'm talking about the parts that
We're talking
Montana.
about. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. That was kind of from last week. I got a full Montana from Taobao. But also in the same box, I've got like every replacement part imaginable for this thing. The two
Is
doors,
that normal?
the two sides of the car. No.
Why did they
it's
include
not
that?
Normal. I don't know if it was a mistake. I got alternative, which this might be normal. These are like alternative hood pieces.
Yeah.
And then I also got an extra crotch because, sometimes you need some extra crotch.
Oh dear God.
And
I said that out loud, didn't I? Yeah.
that was an empty bag.
And that goes to
Who knows
Mirage.
what's in that? Yeah. It's my Mirage accessory. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of extra parts. But something very important. Very, very. The one thing I shared with Brian that Amazon had the last night.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The whole collection, the 5-movie collection in 4K HD, or Ultra HD, which means I now have the best movie in the world, Revenge of the Fallen.
You didn't need 4K to make it out.
Upscaled to 4K. And not
Whoa,
only
whoa. Is it upscaled to 4K or is it a 4K master that it's working from?
Oh, I don't know.
It has to be working from a 4K master. Otherwise, that would be garbage.
Okay.
It's garbage anyway, but
Well, what about the original Transformers movie? That wasn't shot in 4K, was it?
if it was done on film, you just rescan it.
And
But the nice thing about
special
this set
effects, etc., etc.
is each movie has its own.
It's an
special
OSKO,
features
as
disc.
Rodimus Supreme said, upscaled. Yes, that it's a KO of the movie. That's almost what it would be, really. Go ahead.
But
Sorry,
yeah.
Diecast.
Every movie came with a bonus disc, so it's actually a 10-disc collection that came
Oh, wow.
because you get each. I actually probably. Whoops! There went a couple boxes.
Huh.
I'm actually probably going to check out the bonus discs to see if there's anything interesting.
How big
on
is your
them that
TV? I don't want to get too personal, but how big is your TV?
65-inch.
How close is it to you to your viewing space?
I probably sit about 10 feet away from it.
So okay. With that being said, can you even tell the difference between 1080 and 4K?
Yes.
So mine's 55, but the viewing distance is like 6 feet, and I can tell the difference. In the new house, though, it's gonna be like 15 feet. I'm not even going to have
You're going to need a bigger TV.
I'm not even going to have the 4K
Yeah.
player hooked up to the TV. 4K is just gone for me. It's going to be useless. I'm not even going to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, from that distance, you probably would be okay. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, at the distances I watch from, I don't think I'd want to push 1080 past, like,
So
40-something inches.
So when I had my 4K monitor here, it's about 4 feet from me, 3.5 feet,
Mm-hmm.
and dear God, it looked great. But yeah, anything over 8-9 feet, I can't tell the difference.
You just
That's
need
fair.
like a 75-inch TV or something.
I am trying to work that. I'm trying to work that out. Kim says no.
So.
Well, give her some time in a bigger living room with the current TV, and she might change her tune when she realizes how it works in proportion.
Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
really far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also got at Target, which I did not expect, I got a little Earthrise
Oh, Smashdown.
Smashdown.
That's been out for a while. Did you just find it?
It was on
It
clearance.
reshipped
for-
with Slitherfang. No, that was Wave 1. This reshipped with Sound Barrier, so that has been out for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was on clearance for $2.98.
Oh, sweet.
So that's why I picked it up. I was like, I already got 2 or 3 of him, but you know what I mean? For $3,
Yeah.
it was worth picking it up. But yeah, that's all I got this week.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Who else got something?
I'll go. So on topic, I got a $9 Astro Train,
Oh, good deal.
the Walmart reissue on clearance.
Nice.
I don't know if I'm ever going to open it, but for $9,
Why
like
not?
it's still expensive for a hot dog, but it's more in
It's-
line with.
It's
you
a
know.
small hot dog at that.
I think you'll find that as a perfectly acceptable $9 toy.
I've had smaller hot dogs.
Hmm.
That's what she said. Off topic, I got the Hasbro Lightning Collection Dragon Dagger.
I saw that on
Nice.
Twitter. That's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
That's actually
Um,
out.
I mean, I got it from GameStop, so.
So, do I need to
I-
replace my Legacy Dragon Dagger or not?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. So,
Yeah, I have a
here's the
question
Legacy
about
one
that too.
next to it. And the Lightning Collection one is slightly bigger. And like some of the piping on the handle is colored in on the Lightning Collection one where it's not on the Legacy. Overall, though, this is very light and toy-like feeling. And if that's what you're looking for, something to like upgrade from the original Bandai Deluxe toy from 1993 or whatever, you know, this would be a pretty suitable upgrade. The electronics are kind of interesting, although like one of the call-out features of this is that you can theoretically play the Dragon Zord summoning tune or the missile launch tune, one of the two.
Really?
But what it more works out to is there's what they call a music mode on this, and basically you input a button combination and that activates the tune from the show. You can't actually directly play it. It doesn't make the right noises for it.
Lame.
Yeah, so they made they made it overcomplicated and also missed the point of having that function, essentially. And as far as I know, you can only unlock the one tune. Like, there's 2 main Dragon Zord tunes in the show, and this only does one of them in this mode. So when it's in this mode, you can push each button for a note, or push 2 at a time for a different one, or all 3 for a 6th note. And that's all the sounds it'll produce. And then you do the button combination in the right sequence, which, let me see. It's middle, 3, 2, middle, 2, middle. And then it does that. It also does this weird thing where if you flip the switch on the side, the blade starts glowing. And it makes random kind of crackling noises. I'm not super into that because it just kind of keeps going and making noise uselessly.
I like the glowy blade, but yeah, the noise is unnecessary.
And then you can also just put it in normal mode, and it works more like a straightforward toy. I do have the speaker actually pointed directly at the microphone, so that's why it's louder. One thing I really don't like, though, is that there is a, like, I guess, tarnish kind of paint app effect on the edge of the blade, so it looks kind of old and patina.
Hasbro, stop it.
Yeah, it doesn't look that great to me. Overall, I like the look and feel of the Legacy Dragon Dagger better.
From here, it looks like the colors are a little bit more vivid on the Legacy version.
Oh, they are. So this has gold chrome accents. The green is very saturated. This is just paint colors. And I think the green on here is a little more muted because it is a partly translucent plastic.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, this looks fresher, newer. This looks older and more used. If you could combine qualities of these 2 toys, you would probably have like the perfect prop replica because it would look screen used. It would have the weight to it. It would also have one important thing that this does. Quiet you. That's a good demonstration, though. It has the Legacy one has one important thing that the Lightning Collection one doesn't, which is an off switch.
Ah, yes.
The Lightning Collection one, you cannot keep it from making noises if you push a button unless you take the batteries out.
You know what needs an off switch? Armada Jetfire.
Oh.
Still.
Yeah.
Now are all those buttons and that switch gold plastic?
I don't think they're gold plastic. I think they are painted gold.
Okay. That was giving me some concern there for a moment.
Like, I could not tell you what the base plastic color is, but I don't think it's gold plastic. It does not have that visual quality to me. I wouldn't be surprised if it is just more of this black plastic like the handle is, and is paint dipped or, thoroughly sprayed. Because somewhere on here, like, on one of the buttons on the edge, it does look like it's a little bit thinner, and it looks dark under there. So I think that is probably just a normal color of plastic.
So, real quick, this isn't me. This isn't me being passive aggressive, but like seriously, at this point,
sure?
yes, at this point, we really should just become like a Hasbro podcast.
I thought we kind of decided that's what was going on anyway.
Kind of sort of what happened.
Is on topic, I believe, was what we agreed to.
I don't know that we fully agreed to that, but it's kind of the idea.
But it's your show, and you said Hasbro stuff is on topic.
Oh, I got like 8 Star Wars figures this week then.
Oh, jeez. So the other thing this comes with is this little plastic stand.
Oh, that's nice.
It's okay. It's nothing I need to have. Like, that's pretty much how I feel about this whole thing. Like, I have the Legacy one. I don't think I actually need to have this. I was really curious because of how they had designed the electronics in it. But in practice, it's a little bit disappointing. And again, like, if you did not get the Legacy Dragon Dagger when it was available for its original price, or the odd occasion where it was cheaper, the Lightning Collection one, I think, will be a suitable substitute for that, especially for being, I think, SRP of like $70. If you have this, you don't need the other one. And to me, it's a toss-up if you need the Lightning Collection one, if you have like the original 1993 Dragon Dagger toy, either. Probably because this is bigger and more made to fit adult hands. But yeah, the Legacy one is still like by far the superior version of this to have. It feels in the hand more like they tried to make a prop replica, where it looks like Hasbro's is just like, we tried to make a fairly nice toy of the Dragon Dagger. It's completely different goals, I think, with these product types. That said, I'm probably going to end up selling the Hasbro Dragon Dagger. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, that's all I got this week. Hopefully I'll have something better next time.
Cool. Who else? Nobody?
I got some stuff.
Sure.
Just a few small things, mostly. I got Hasbro Toy Shop on eBay had the Earthrise Hot Rod Patrol, and I wanted something to go with the Grease Pit, so I got those. I realized there's some faction discrepancies there. Not too concerned about it, because Grease Pit really is just completely an Autobot colors anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're decent figures. They hold together better than the, I think it was Military Patrol I got for in Siege. They have that problem that tall-shouldered Transformers do, especially at this size. Arms are just really kind of hard to manage, but again, since they're that size, it's not really a big deal. They're fairly nice looking. I'm happy I got them. The gun mode I will probably never even bother with. I also, just to get up to free shipping, went back and got Prime Master's Landmine and Octopunch. So Bomb Burst is now the only one of those I don't have. It's always nice to get things that are easy to complete. I just need to find a Bomb Burst that's less than like $10 and I'll have the whole thing. And also, just because I could, I got myself Earthrise Scorponok. And
Nice.
yeah, I am really, really happy with that. That's so much nicer than Fortress Maximus, I think largely because it did not have to be repurposed from something that was not what it is. And just, it holds together better. It's, the articulation is a good bit better. That the ratchets are all very strong. The modes all look nice. I only have like two real complaints. One is Hasbro instructions. The direction that shows how you put the tail on is the size of a postage stamp. So I put it on right, thought I had it on wrong, took it off, put it on wrong, and then had hell getting it back off to put on right. So that's part of that's on me, but if, I should not have to get I need glasses, but I should not have to go get them just to put the toy together. Besides that, my only complaint is that I really wish there were some Titans Return connector compatibility on here somewhere. Just, I kind of feel like they may have started the design work on this during Titans Return. And, they always said that the vote that got us Triptychon was to see who went first. Because the ramps on Scorponok's feet are about the right width for Titans Return connectors. And then they've got those tiny little Earthrise airlock connectors in the middle of the ramp. So it's, I would have liked to see, we really need a Plank Master that is an adapter for that. I'm really kind of disappointed Double Crosser is not that thing. But that is in the long run a minor thing. There will be a 3D printed option or probably a non-F option to do that at some point. Hopefully. And yeah, and so that is a minor issue at best. I really do like pretty much everything about this. The headmasters, they really feel more satisfying somehow than Fortress Maximus' headmasters, and I can't quite explain why. Just something about Scorponok's, let's call it Megazerac for lack of a better name, just is a good size in your hand. It's weird to say that way. It's just a nice, comfortable feeling toy. And I do wish the head stayed on a little bit better. They don't lock down as strongly as I might like, but neither does the collar piece. So
the collar sucks.
Yeah, I really do feel that's minor in the long run, though. I am pretty satisfied all in all, and just to if Nana at some point were to make some of the G1 accessories to fill this out, I would absolutely be interested in getting those.
I want the handgun cannon thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need to
I'd like
pull
that
out.
in the little tower things.
I need to get my Sentinel one to see how it looks in his hand.
Yeah. Rob, do you think the what we're calling Mega Xeric feels better than the Cerebros on Fortress Maximus because it didn't have to accommodate a battery pack and a sound chip and a speaker?
That is probably a lot of it, and also you can handle it without having it make noise at you for no reason, which is always a nice thing.
Yeah, I was experiencing something like that just recently.
Mm-hmm.
I was just reaching to pull off Xerac off of him because I'm like, oh no, he's nice and tight and it holds in place, but it wasn't even held in place. I didn't even have to apply force to get it off.
Yeah, there's like a tilt built into that head connector too, and that's a neat idea, and I'm not quite sure why it's there because it's not like a really dynamic amount of head articulation, but it also just does kind of make the connector harder to use.
I was wondering if that was meant for maybe the Scorpion mode, and it's just not represented well in any of the documentation.
That could be, yeah. But that's about all. That's about all I have to say about it. Like I said, I like it. I'm glad I got it, and that is pretty much everything I got this week.
Great. Matt, did you get anything?
Nope, nothing this week.
Okay. John, you did. Are you there?
Oh, yeah, I actually got a lot of stuff this week.
Oh boy.
So let's see here. I'm not going to go into too much detail on anything, but in particular, but I got, I was 1 for 2 this week on the great chase for NECA Cartoon Ninja Turtles at Target. It's gotten, I guess if you check Twitter, like now it's probably a 7 on the dumpster fire scale instead of like the 11 it was a week ago. It's not good, but it's also just not like, total war. But things are trickling into Targets across the country very slowly. Interesting thing about NECA, and then I'll jump over to Transformers. In some cases, Target or I should say retail associates don't like stock what they get. They actually have like vendors come in and stock stuff. This is more common in like food, like chips and stuff at 3 a.m. in a Kroger. You'll see like the guys come in and merchandise, the soda.
They here
and
at 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah. It's all
well,
different times
yes.
of day.
And then your mileage may vary when you see that guy. But this happens in toys and specialty product too. NECA is one of those. So they have reps around the country that go into Targets, and so the NECA merchandise ships via like a UPS or whatnot to the back of the Target, and then once a week or so, the NECA rep will go fish that box out of the back of the Target and then merchandise the shelves where the NECA merchandise is supposed to be. So in theory, you have a perfect planogram, right? Because the rep comes and does it. Unfortunately, of course, reality is what it is. And, as soon as Target employees maybe figure out, hey, there are things in this box that are profitable or wanted by me or others, lots of times the NECA person will come around and what do you know, that box is not sealed anymore and kind of picked through. So that's become kind of an issue here and there with NECA. But anyway, at least things are shipping. And people are finding stuff sporadically. So I found the Casey Jones Foot Soldier 2-pack. Still looking for Metalhead, but I think I'll find him eventually. It does look like
build Casey.
Yes, the troop build Casey. More Caseys, the better. Anyway, I think eventually this fall I will find Metalhead. So moving on to Transformers, though, I got Grease Pit. I got today. It sure appeared that the Target closest to me had their great toy refresh. So when I walked in, they had at least 3 Snapdragons, a Seeker 2-pack, Skylinks, and Earthrise Prime, which apparently is still kind of like a sought-after thing, and then Slitherfang and Rungs. So I got most of that. I picked up Skylinks and Snapdragon. And then I also waltzed over to the Lego aisle just to see what else they've refreshed. And I think the street date on the Super Mario Lego kits is technically like August 1st or something like that. But they broke it hard, and there were like all the big Lego kits for the Super Mario sets were out, and the blind packs were out. So I picked up a couple of blind packs. Those are adorable. You should Google that; they're worth a Google. What
do we have in the blind packs?
Well, I'm sure there's going to be like multiple waves. So this is wave 1. There's 10 of them. They're like $3 or $4 a piece, and they include stuff like a bomb. Let's see what else they have. They have
Lakitu?
A couple of Goombas. Not Goombas. They have Koopas. A couple of Koopas. Just the usual like grunts from the Super Mario levels that you can kind of build out, and they are all interactive with Lego Mario. So that core like Lego Mario figure that comes in the starter kit, like he interacts with the little blind pack guys. So that's looking like a really impressive Lego ecosystem they're building. Also very expensive. So I don't know that. And I think that's about it for me. So I haven't opened most of this stuff, but I'll get around to it. I'm still building that 1989 Batmobile.
How many pieces is that?
3,000, I think, something like
no
that.
wonder you're still at it.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's like 22 or 23 bags. So I'm doing one bag a day.
They should start measuring those big Lego kits not by the number of pieces, but by the number of hours it took their play testers to put them together.
Yes,
sell it as an 18-hour kit.
Oh, well then I might not want to buy it next week.
Yeah, that'll scare people away.
Yeah, for sure. That's it for me. So I have a couple weeks of toys to get through, so I'm happy about that.
Cool. So let's see here. I guess that leaves me. I got.
You got Scorponok.
I got a Zarak. I got a deluxe Zarak with a Citibanks set that goes with it. So it's pretty cool. So I can relive all my favorite Headmasters dubs stuff. What's happened to the Headmasters? Can't they fight without Chrome Dome? Yeah. Oh, I need to get a G1 Chrome Dome. I actually don't have one. No, I have a Generations Chrome Dome. So yeah, Zarak is actually the nicest part of it. He is so much better than Cerebros. He is so much better.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's as much better than Cerebros as Scorponok is over Fortress Maximus.
Yeah, I never understood the hate for Fort Max, but no, Scorponok is much better. It is much, much better. But everything is...
We don't hate it, we're just disappointed.
But everything is better than Metroplex.
Fortress Maximus deserved his own tooling.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's pretty nice. I haven't had a chance to play with it as much as I would like. But Zarak is great. So I got that. I got the John had mentioned he got Snapdragon. So Snapdragon is an excellent robot, really good jet, and it's only 2 modes. Snapdragon only has 2 modes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
He's a dragon in name only.
That dragon mode sucks. Unless there's some sort of hidden articulation in his abdomen that I'm missing.
Well, you could just try forcing it harder.
Yeah, I guess I could.
Then you'll either uncover a joint that was already there, or you'll have made a new one.
I mean, it's possible. It's literally possible that I'm missing something, but looking at photos and everything, I don't think that I am. So it is lacking a little bit of articulation in dragon mode that it needs. But the robot mode is excellent. It's dead on exactly what I wanted, so I'm pretty happy with that. I got the Repugnus set. It's cute with the little, whatever they're called, little not Repugnuses. But unlike the Sharkticons from that Hot Rod set, they actually transform into little robots.
Yeah, these are just like little decoys.
What? Pesticons, yes.
Yeah, which is awesome. I need more of that.
Yeah. They're pretty great. So.
Now, do you think those are like tiny turbo changers? Because we were wondering about the Sharkticons initially.
Wait, did the Sharkticons transform? I thought they didn't, right?
Well, I know we were wondering before the set came out if those were tiny turbo changer molds. I don't remember. I don't remember the actual eventual finding.
You know, I'll be honest with you.
Me either.
I'll be honest with you. I don't remember if those Sharkticons were tiny turbo changers and actually transformed or not. I don't remember them transforming. Somebody help me out. Did anybody actually open them? Matt, did you open them? Did they transform?
Wait, what?
The little Sharkticons from the Cyberverse set.
Vaguely transform, yes.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't even remember. But there's more transformation, it feels like, in the little Pesticons. Yeah, my memory sucks. It's like, can't you remember the name? Can't you remember the name of Chip's uncle from Roll For It? In the 10 seconds he appeared in it and through the window? Like, I can't remember if that toy transformed that I got like 6 months ago. Chip's uncle doesn't actually appear in Roll For It.
And I keep calling Scorponok Tripticon, but
That's
I,
fine.
you know, I mean, also my friend Rob sent me a photo of apparently on the instructions of Scorponok, I think, they call Skylink's Astro Train.
Okay.
Yeah, the instructions
So-
are great.
You know,
What do they do with the instruction sheet?
that is a thing that, you know. It's
Don't
either-
get me started on packaging and stuff, please.
I'm pretty sure it's either Scorponok's instructions or maybe Skylink's, but I don't think they would have made that big
well,
of a
it's not
mistake.
Scorponox.
It's not Scorponok?
I
It is
always
double dealer sheet.
I
Sorry.
always just look at
He's like,
at stock photos and renders to figure out how to transform things. I don't even bother looking at the instructions.
I think that is Skylink's labeled as Astro Train and Scorponok's instructions. On the
Here's
very
Scorponok.
back, where the city mode is shown and how it connects to other bases. I don't think Astro Train's base is that complex.
No, it's not. Yeah, they totally got that wrong. I'm sure they meant to put in the Astro Train line art
Yeah, because that would make more sense.
and just you know, as someone was searching through the image archives, they found the thing that it's an upright shuttle. That must be Astro Train because that toy does that.
I need to
Yeah.
get Astro Train still.
That's awesome. And they don't even look at, hey, the file name says Skylinks.
Yeah.
I
Drop
bet you
it.
the
File
file
name
name.
must be wrong.
I bet you the file name is just a string of numbers.
Probably the same serial number that's on the package for all these things.
You know, I doubt it. Because a human does have to work from those things.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, guys. I appreciate you defending them, but they dropped an AI file in there that said Skylinks, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It might have had an alphanumeric code with it, but tisk.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I also got Grease Pit and Exhaust. Grease Pit's
Exhaust.
what?
Exhaust.
Exhaust or
he's exhausted. His leg's exhausted. How's your leg?
or Bandit.
Oh yeah.
They're a little floppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do love all the Bandit text on him though. That's just funny. Let's see here. So I got those. I'll go with the lamest thing next. I got was this Fans Hobby Athena,
Yes.
which is their not Minerva. It's okay. I mean, for the great thing about it, it's cheap. And it is, people are saying like they don't know if it's supposed to be Chug or Masterpiece. Dude, this is totally Masterpiece. It wants to be Masterpiece. It is like it's like to the head the same height as an Autobot car, Masterpiece. Which to me is too big because she's a Headmaster Junior. In my mind, she should be smaller. But the transformation, it's way more panely than a Chug style toy. It really is reminiscent of a 2013 era Masterpiece, like Prowler Blue Streak. Just in feeling it. But it doesn't quite feel as good. It's about $55, $60, something like that.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
doesn't seem too bad.
it's not bad, but it's just not great. It's, for the price, my biggest problem with it is I don't have anything that aesthetically it matches. So
well, give them time. I'm sure there'll be a cab and a ghost shooter.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like her hands. Like, they hold the guns pretty well, but otherwise they're really floppy and wavy. And it's just, they're kind of unsettling, just the way that her fingers bend. I'll be honest with you. And I wanted to love the Headmaster Tech Spec gimmick, but it's not based on the head in any way, shape, or form. It's just based on the hinge pulling the lever down, and it basically pops with it. And eventually this is going to break. I am virtually certain. But, otherwise it's clean. I didn't hate the stickers. Even though I generally hate stickers, I didn't hate these. The thing I hated about the stickers is they were not clearly visibly cut from the sheet. So I had to be very careful in trying to peel them off. But I couldn't see where the cut was. They were so fine compared to an official toy. But it's okay. But yeah, in my mind, this is definitely trying to be a masterpiece and not a chug. It doesn't feel like a Generations toy in any way. And again, head height, she is exactly dead on with Blue Streak. Last thing I got, it took me months to get it. And in my mind, we'll get into this a little bit more. Counterfeit toys are theft. So, quote unquote, fourth party. It's all BS. It's theft. But when the toy is 35 or 40 years old, nobody cares anymore. So, and I don't care. So, I got the red Mirage. And I paid a little more for this one because it was supposed to have the silver chrome.
But Brian, that does have silver chrome.
Well, it does after I took a chrome pen to it and completely covered all the gold chrome that I spent like an extra $20 not to have. Honestly, I didn't do a great job with it. I'm not good with chrome pens. From a distance and through my webcam, it looks okay. In person, it looked like parts of it looked fine. Like the feet / spoiler looks fine. The engine looks fine. But his chrome chest, the more area that you have to cover with the chrome pen, the more likely it is to not look great. So, it was, I think you can get the regular version for like $30, $25. I think I got that Optimus Prime knockoff counterfeit for like $32 shipped. I think I paid like $48 for this one to get this one with the chrome because the eBay auction had chrome, silver chrome, but this one doesn't. So I finally got it. The thing about these though, again, if you don't know that they're counterfeits or you don't know they're knockoffs, you think they're the real thing. And this is no different. So if you go to a flea market and you see a really nice minty Optimus Prime or Mirage or Blitzwing or something, it's like, oh, this is too good to be true. It probably is. Yeah. So I am definitely not for buying stuff that's on the shelf or stuff that Hasbro is currently trying to sell. But, if you can get me a knockoff Browning or you can get me a knockoff Six Knight or something, which that's not out. I don't think there's a Browning or Six Knight that's a KO. I would love to have that. So
there was a vintage KO
there's a
Browning.
Browning.
Well, a new one?
Yeah, there was a vintage KO Browning. I used to own it.
Oh, yeah. But the stuff like that, the KOs go for ridiculous sums of money. Like that, I was joking on Twitter that Don should Dononomics me that Battle Gaia that Artfire 2000 had for $3,000. I had mentioned, though, a nice vintage knockoff of the same toy went for like $600 recently on eBay.
Wow.
So yeah. Like that Raiden that I have, there's a knockoff of it that goes for hundreds of dollars that I have in parts strewn probably between here and two of their homes, like in nooks and crannies that I no longer live at. But that one goes for hundreds of dollars. Sometimes knockoffs can go for quite a bit, but when they're vintage, new, not so much. Can I get anything else?
I'm not sure why that makes me think of like procedurally generated dungeons strewn with toy parts, but that sounds great.
I would play that.
You could do a Gundam Breaker game along those lines. That would be fantastic.
So, Nestchalk asked in the chat, this is actually something I've thought of myself. If Takara steals the molds, or if they, quote, acquire the mold, is what I would say, from the counterfeiters, would that count as official if they release them? I would say yes, if Takara releases them.
If they put their stamp on it.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
So most of these, I'm assuming, are recreated. Because
they would basically have to be,
like the Optimus Prime, I was going through the mold differences between it and an official, and like there's some things that are just crazy on it that make no sense, like how the head was attached, the hands that don't have ends of fingers, and stuff like that. But again, for the most part, if you don't know they're knockoff, it looks like the real thing. Yeah, Blade Raider said they could have stolen the mold. How some are lost, they can't find them. That's possible.
No, but usually when they describe a mold as being lost, it generally means that it is not in a viable state to make a toy from anymore.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's lost in that sense. But they have said with a few things over the years, like, yeah, we know that mold is somewhere, but we, for the life of us, cannot find it. That happened with Metal's Ravage. So Hasbro or Takara were able to get a factory to find that mold to make the BotCon 2002 Tigatron? 2001, 2002, I forget which, but the Transmetal Tigatron. But as of 5 years after that, when it was time for the 10th anniversary Beast Wars line, they wanted to make that Ravage available in that line because they knew that was a fan interest item, and if they could release that in their Toys R Us exclusive line for $12 or $15 or whatever it was, they wanted to do that. But by then, nobody could tell where that mold had gone. It just disappeared in as that little time, and that's probably not a non-viability thing. That's just it got filed in the wrong place or is holding the wrong door open somewhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in the chat, WillJack64 is basically answering some questions about how, while smaller companies might knock off something like this and Hasbro and Takara don't pursue it, it's kind of like why Hasbro isn't doing the new Micro Machines or having somebody else do it. It's just not worth their really time or energy because of the differences in profits and such. But he also said, also the KOs are probably of cheaper quality than what would be officially produced. These are actually really, really high quality. Which is is there literally a difference? If you could quantifiably say, that this is, it could be 90% and I wouldn't know the difference of the plastic quality. It's close enough to where I can't tell. For Mirage, the only thing that wasn't correct with it is that his cannon didn't have the spring in it to fire the missile. The missile didn't even lock. But other than that, it's, if this was blue and you took one of my other Mirages, I think I have like 2 or 3. You took my 3 G1 Mirages, and most of them are pretty beat up, but if I didn't know the difference, you put them all together and you had me select which one it was, I wouldn't know. Just, so the quality's really good on these things.
Well, another way to look at cheaper quality is that the mold they make to make those knockoffs might not be intended or engineered to last as long as a mold for an official
entirely
product
possible.
would be. One thing we heard during the course of BotCon and the Fun Pub era, I think it was during the Fun Pub era, that was that the new parts that were tooled for the BotCon exclusives were not made from the same kind of material. They used a different quality of metal to make those, which is generally why those parts were one and done. Like, they would not reoccur again later, except for the odd occasion where they did.
Something like the Pretender shell for Optimus and Megatron.
Well, Megatron's was just Grand Max's Pretender shell.
Wasn't Optimus's also Grand Max's that's been modified or something?
No, the one
Optimus's
for
was a monkey.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They had shoot, I can't think of it's right there. I can't think.
The
They
Optimus
had
is much different.
they had Boss Fight Studios. Boss Fight Studios. They had them design that for them.
Oh,
I don't know
didn't
if they
know
had
that.
them manufacture it, but some of the Boss Fight people, because some of the Boss Fight people used to be Hasbro people too.
Yeah.
So
We interviewed
they
them
collaborated
years
on
ago.
that.
Cool. Okay. Man, let's jump to the news, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
So go to
An hour
tfradio.net.
later.
Yeah, go to tfradio.net, and you can listen to our review of Transformers Chapter 1, Siege. That shows up on Netflix this week. Just high level.
Kind
of what?
I was going to say, if you're listening live, it shows up on Netflix tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of a mixed bag. There are things we like, things we would like to see different, but the long and short is it is substantially better than the Machinima series that preceded it. And if you like the Machinima series, I'm certain you would like this. But for us, it wasn't most of us, it wasn't exactly what we wanted. Or even within a tolerance.
Because I think at this point in my life, what I want is just more Cyberverse.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So go to tfradio.net. We have like a 38-minute review that does include spoilers.
That's a little far off from the 5 to 8 minutes you were originally projecting
Yeah,
that to.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean,
We
I
had a
wouldn't
lot to
expect
say.
that to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Having been there for the recording.
Yeah. Okay, so let's jump to the next one. This was an interesting item that got a lot of play on the social medias this week. Weijing, pour one out, they're gone. The crazy thing about this, they have apparently sold $14 million in counterfeit toys.
I only bought half of that.
Yeah, I know. But the guy, their quote designer, apparently a noted Transformers fan in China, who was scanning the stuff, took 10% of sales. So he'd made $1.4 million knocking off Transformers.
That's pretty good.
No, so the
That's
stuff
more
we
than
have.
any of the designers who actually worked on any of those toys ever made, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Does any of the stuff we have say that the $14 million Weijing made was exclusively from the Transformers knockoffs, or was that just across
That's just
everything
the
they ever had
general-
their hands on?
I took it because I thought that it was tied to the in the article that was tied to the guy who did the Transformers. Let's see here. I'll tell you exactly what it said.
I obviously asked the wrong question at the wrong time, but
Okay, so the suspects allegedly sold the counterfeits for over 100 million yuan, 14 million, and yeah, I thought that it was tied to what he made, but it doesn't specifically say there was Transformers, but the article is pretty much specific to Transformers. But you know how things are; things don't get captured correctly or shared correctly sometimes. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of money, and what they did was illegal. I know there's a lot of people who are trying to say, "Oh, well, they made the stuff better." Well,
Yes, but Don's not here this week.
Don's not here this week.
I won't dispute the fact that some of those may be superior to the original toys, but that's what you can do when you don't have to pay for any of the
Yes.
development.
You don't
Well, not only that, it beyond that, it's still illegal. You know, even though you're upscaling and maybe fixing an issue, which is great for the community, I guess I could say, it's still illegal.
It's ethically wrong. It's theft. So
Yeah, but we talked about this before, but just the big dividing line between this and other third party things is that other third party things are IP theft, which is a little bit vaguer,
Or not,
a little bit
not even
hard
theft
to deal with.
sometimes because they do skirt the law.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's slightly different. But straight up counterfeiting, there's a lot of time and funding put into law enforcement across the world to combat that specifically. So that is a really great way to get yourself in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen in the ongoing discourse about this a lot of concern, like, oh, is it time for, are they going to like come down third party in general? Well, no, because most of third party is not directly aping what are probably in many cases patented designs. It's IP infringement, yes, but they are designing their own stuff from
they're doing their own
effectively
thing.
the ground up.
They're doing their own thing. So this third party cost Hasbro money. Maybe sometimes people may skip something to get a third party version, like with a Masterpiece toy or something. But with this is literally made so that you buy this instead of the Hasbro product. It's pretty cut and dry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
that's why a lot of cases the packaging was practically identical to the Hasbro.
Yeah, no, and we've had that problem with Masterpiece for many years, where you had to be careful getting it on eBay.
How many times have you heard people say, "Oh, I'll just wait for the knockoff because it'll be cheaper"?
Oh, I hate that.
Too many times. And one time, even too, I was in Chattanooga with Hey Mickey. We went to a local toy store there, and they had an open Masterpiece exhaust out for sale. That wasn't modified by a retailer to look less like a cigarette package, for instance. But like standing there considering it, I had to seriously think okay, did this store end up with a knockoff one? And even though the knockoffs are virtually the same quality in many cases, would I be paying $45, $50 for a bootleg here if I bought this? It ended up not being the case as far as I could tell, but that was the point in time where any time you run across something like that, sometimes even with the packaging, you will never know exactly for sure.
Oh yeah, the packaging is close too. I mean, you have to look for holograms and stuff on it, and sometimes they even fake that stuff. So
and then meanwhile, it's not in the show notes, but it's an incidental mention that's very interestingly timed. So Wyjin gets taken down for bootlegging, and just today we hear about bootleg of MP44 Optimus about to come out.
Fourth party. It's a fourth party. Yeah, it's counterfeit. Yeah. So funny enough, MP44 is expensive. I get it. And it's
I don't think this knockoff is going to have the trailer either.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't have the trailer.
MP44 is expensive, and it's not the best thing out there. But just because you don't like that doesn't mean that it's okay to basically steal it.
And to derail just a little bit more, I haven't heard a lot of in-hand talk about the Black Convoy version that just came out.
I'll have mine next week. I'll have it tomorrow.
The little bit I have heard so far, though, is not overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah, no paint.
No paint, possibly bad joint tolerances in some places. It's
buying up straight at Masterpiece is a crapshoot at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not going to defend that, but I'm not going to defend theft either.
Oh no! Just because we ended up on the subject of MP44, and
sometimes there's no good options.
No, there's really not.
Yeah,
really.
Okay. Hasbro's Q2 results not great. They were down $33 million, short of or loss. So that's not good. So was it down 29%? 29%. So. Long and the short, they didn't meet their numbers. Their stock took a pretty decent drop. It's tough right now with everything going on with COVID and unemployment, and there are certain discretionary things that people aren't buying right now, and it sure looks like molded plastic is one of them.
Although one area where they were reporting good results was their board game division, which
People are stuck
you
at
know,
home.
Yeah. I understand that to a certain degree, demand for toys has gone up because people and their kids are stuck at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, one issue they had was supply chain. Like their board games, they couldn't meet the demand for the board games. And they had competitors that could ship to the demand, and they were up for the quarter. And Hasbro was majorly down. So that stung them really bad.
Which competitor?
I think it was Mattel.
Mattel's
might have
numbers
been
were
others.
good, yeah.
Yeah, but they were able to ship. Hasbro
Yeah.
wasn't.
I forget the list of places that they were having difficulty shipping from. I saw that in one story or another, but I'll note that one of them was not Vietnam, which is, as I understand it, has dealt fairly well with COVID. So that may be why Transformer stuff does seem to be moving along relatively.
Yeah. Transformers is
Transformers,
mostly unimpeded.
I think Transformers is doing as well as they planned for it to be doing before things kicked off this year.
I do seem to recall reading somewhere, though, that a big part of the loss was having to do with alternate shipping methods, and that if this continues, that may reflect in raising of prices.
Womp womp.
How that may reflect in dropping of purchases.
Yep.
Absolutely, because they're already at my limit.
Of course, I said that last year or the year before too, and here I still am.
So, I'm going to jump to the next one, since I honestly had no idea these were on the site until I saw them in the show notes.
That's because they were on the site about 20 minutes before they went in the show notes.
Okay. So, Figure King magazine has photos of drawings of a new Masterpiece Seeker, supposedly. Do we know, is this legit? Do we know it's legit?
Yeah, that's from Figure King. It's part of the Transformers spread for this month.
Yeah, but why would they have how often do we have drawings of a masterpiece before we have?
That's line art derived from the CAD model that they're developing the new Masterpiece Starscream off of. So,
and how often does that happen? I'd say years when there's not a Wonderfest.
Good point. It looks nice.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
I like
So,
I fear the price tag.
Oh yeah. No, I'm expecting at least 30,000 yen price tag.
That's
for
exactly
this.
what I was thinking.
I'm gonna say $250 US.
Well, depending on the exchange rate, yeah.
I'm thinking more than that. And so many colors.
Do you
I'll
guys
stick
want
with
to
my Make Toys
speculate
Seekers.
on the transformation?
Okay.
You could,
The way they
go
design
for it.
masterpieces these days,
Overly engineered.
No, I mean, go for it. XB, if you're going to talk about the wings, go for it. But the wings tell an interesting tale.
Oh no, please go with your observations.
Well, so the wings. This is speculation, but based on that line art, I guess, or the CAD files, or whatever you want to call that, the profile image sure looks like the wings are basically sandwiches, and in between like two panels, potentially all the other wings, like the rear fins, may go up in there.
God.
Something's going up in between sandwiches that are the main wings. You can
Okay, I got
see
you.
it. Like if you look at it, it sure looks like those are double paneled wings, and so
Oh,
there's
yeah.
possibly something.
Oh
in
yeah,
between
there's a
them.
middle hinge.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Oh,
get ready
God.
for that, whether you like
This
it or
is
not.
going to be exciting.
So I'm looking at this. I hadn't studied it that closely before. Looking at this though, I'm thinking part of what might be going on, rather than having the stabilizers and the tail planes in there, it might be that they have the flight wing fold in half from a more realistic jet proportion into the desired robot proportion.
Also possible. But
I mean,
something
either way, it's
special.
not going to look super attractive from the back or the side, as we can see. Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
also-
a modern masterpiece for you.
It sure is. Also, if you just kind of like, I mean, it's easy to not like see much in this just like black and white art, line art. But if you put color to it, he is a chunky boy. Like his torso, like his chest.
Yeah.
The distance between like his chest and the back of his wings, he's a deep transfer.
Especially if you look directly below that at his thighs, it shows how thick he is front to back.
I mean,
front to back, he's as thick front to back as he is wide across the shoulders. At least
this guy is not buying his khakis at Target. There's no way. No way.
Not buying his shirt at Target, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And again, while I have described this for the purposes of the article as line art or design art, this is the CAD model that they developed, and basically the same way they do cel-shaded CG animation, they've just applied that kind of filter and removed any color information from it to basically create the appearance of line art from the 3D model that they're working with.
Wow, I really do not like how far the canopy sticks out from the rest of the chest.
Yeah, so when I was looking at these at first too, I was thinking like, is the canopy just like floating there in the air? But no, there's obviously the surrounding nose section too that's just not well defined independently. But yeah, that's all kind of sticking out in bad ways. That it's going to look really good from like exactly one angle, I think, and that's going to be straight dead on.
Mm-hmm.
Or possibly the jet mode. That might look good.
Yeah.
Those will be the angles that you'll see in PR photos. We'll know what angles he looks good at.
Well, yes, it's the same thing that happened with Masterpiece Lio Convoy, if you remember. The first stock photos of that showed the lion mode from exactly one angle.
Oh, no.
Brian remembers.
Yeah. I forgot that I had that.
Well, at least they'll tell you how to display it. Look at it that way.
You know, honestly, the Earthrise Voyagers may be my Masterpiece Seekers.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good.
Yeah.
And so much cheaper. So much cheaper.
You know,
even if you have to buy the Takara reruns of them.
Yeah, maybe I should just give up a Masterpiece. I don't love it.
Yeah, I have.
You know, I'm honestly considering it. I have not ordered an RC from anywhere yet because I'm going to have to wait to see what people think of that in hand.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, the other thing too about this Starscream, get ready to buy it 7 times.
I know.
Yeah.
That's another reason for Matt to get out of Masterpiece.
Yes,
maybe more than that.
Maybe.
You know, I have 10 of the other ones, right?
Yeah. No, I've been thinking about that the whole time.
I only have 5 or 6. I never got Sunstorm or Acid Storm. I need to get those.
I have Acid Storm. I have both Sunstorms and both Thundercrackers.
Crazy. Okay, so let's see. Hasbro Fan Expo Hong Kong. There's a video out there. It'll be in the show notes at tfradio.net/685. I'm not going to show it.
The short form is, though, they didn't reveal anything new at the Fan Expo event.
But there are some shots of things, and what I saw shared on Twitter was Tigatron.
Yeah.
Which looks flippin' amazing. Maybe I'll just get Beast Wars Masterpiece.
I mean, it won't be any cheaper, but it'll at least be something
It'll be cheaper
different.
in volume.
Yeah, because you're not going to get 7 Tigatrons.
No. I would like a Shadow Panther.
You might get like a proto
they made a Shadow
catalog.
Panther.
No, Shadow Panther.
Yeah, you might get orange Tigatron.
Sorry, I had to go full deathy. There's no H. There's no H in there's only one H in Shadow Panther.
You know, it took me the second time for
That's a
me to realize you were saying
21-year-old,
that way on
22-year-old
purpose.
reference. Okay. So
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of things I hate, G1 Funko Pops are on the way. Won't even buy one.
Why you hate this?
I hate Pops. I hate them.
I think the Optimus Prime looks pretty good, and the Bumblebee is cute looking.
Was he just
okay,
one
I
Optimus
kind
Prime?
of,
Oh, he
I
is.
kind of like that the Optimus Prime body does seem to be based on the original toy. I do
So
like that.
both of the bodies are fairly toy based,
Yeah.
while the heads are more cartoon-ish based. What I can say about the Optimus is that being a Funko Pop, it has exactly as much soul to it as the general characterization of Optimus Prime in current media does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving
Are
along.
those the only two we know of right now?
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's only two they make.
They'll make a Soundwave and Megatron. They'll make
Or
your
Megatron and
Starscream.
Starscream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grimlock.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll make the same 6 people we can't get away from in any other toy line in this toy line.
Yes.
Okay, so we have new stock photos of Earthrise, Bumblebee, and Alita 1. I literally am just seeing these for the first time.
I think it's just the same as the Netflix releases, except Takara's releasing them as Earthrise toys, which I'm kind of thinking was the original intent when they were designed.
Yeah, probably so.
Well, because
Considering that Bumblebee doesn't look like that in the Netflix series, yeah.
Not yet.
and
Just
thank
wait for
good,
Earthrise.
yeah, and thank goodness, because I hate those. I hate the vent cheeks that Bumblebee has had in media since the IDW comics started. So the fact this doesn't have those is a real mark in its favor, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bumblebee looks really good, actually, as a production sample.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it absolutely is a licensed Volkswagen alternate mode because, like, you can see the emblems all over the damn thing in these pictures.
Yes, I hate that it's a Bumblebee and it looks good and I want it.
I thought maybe that's why it's going to Walmart as an exclusive, so they don't have to make as many of them. Is there any possibility that that's part of it?
My
What do you think?
theory
Maybe
on...
Okay.
Oh, no, go ahead, Rob, because mine's going to kind of go off in a direction.
Okay. Yeah, I was just
Off
going to
the
ask.
woods.
So you're thinking maybe the license, the price of the license, was dependent on how many copies they make.
Not only that, maybe they didn't want to put this in the regular release because it would be too much for the licensing fee, so they put it in a smaller release.
Rob, were you going to go somewhere else? 'Cause
No,
I have
that's all. I just was asking the question.
Why do you think there are fewer? Because Walmart's the #1 retailer in the world. If you go and look at your local Walmart, I know that mine has like 100 million of those Netflix figures, and it's not the first shipment of them. So I bet they probably are producing nearly as many units of those as they would.
Yeah, probably 70% of the quantity they would produce
or
if it was a
more.
regular retail
I'm
assortment.
thinking like 90%.
Well, I'm just kind of like, conservative bottom lining it.
There's so many of those at Walmart.
Yeah.
that I'm certain.
So many side swipes and chromias.
Yeah. I don't know that they are producing less because you have
Yeah,
just
but they
many
were also 2 to 3 per box. This could be the one per Bumblebee. Could be your
maybe.
one per box.
No,
maybe.
Alita is going to be the one per box.
But you still have as many people who want them, and this is just bringing them into Walmart to buy them. So I don't know that there are fewer. Just Walmart's getting more of them.
So, question on that, and I haven't really paid close enough attention to like say one way or another, but does it seem like because the retailers are all notorious for saying like I don't want what the other guy has, so I want exclusive stuff, which is whatever, but they do that. So it sure seems like in my head that Walmart has a ton of Netflix toys and Target has a ton of Earthrise toys. Like Target's assortment seems like there's more price points. There's more variety. They're getting like Skylinks is surprisingly like on shelves. It's like Target is like getting Earthrise, and Walmart was like, just give us more than Netflix because we want that and we want a show, and that sounds prestigious, and so we'll put that on our shelves.
I'm kind of thinking, and this is where I said I was going to go off into the woods, I'm kind of thinking that the Netflix stuff may not have been designed originally intended for distribution through Walmart exclusively. I think it might have been something they were planning to do anyway, and the only way they could get Walmart to agree to carry any of it was to give it to them exclusively. Since Takara is releasing all of this stuff to normal retail in Japan, a few of the recolors might be Takara Tomy Mall exclusives. I would have to go back and check on that, but like some of it is coming out to just retail. I really suspect that having learned from the machinima process of the show being a year behind, Hasbro just went into this whole thing planning, we're going to have a refresher wave of Siege-oriented stuff mixed in here. And that would also explain why, even as a Toy Fair when, yes, there was pandemic stuff starting to really spool up, but we didn't have any idea how bad it was going to get. The second wave of Earthrise, even then, was not scheduled until like August, after we had the first wave, January, February. Like, I think they were planning for alternating Earthrise and Netflix Siege waves, and then Walmart ended up taking the whole Netflix thing on for themselves in exchange for actually carrying it at all. Because if they didn't carry it, the thing would pretty much be dead in the water.
Yeah.
So that's my speculation, just based on what I have seen over the last several months and what I'm seeing from the overseas markets.
So so keep in mind, you know, the buyer, the merchant at Walmart does see, you know, they shop their competition. They shop them their own stores. You know, they would see that Target might be getting in these, I guess, Power of the Primes or whatever figures at the time, or Siege. Target was getting them first, selling through. Walmart, a lot of stuff was sitting because they just weren't churning through it, or getting it on the shelves. So one way to fix that is just make sure your competition doesn't get it on the shelf. So,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, forcing exclusivity is a way to help ensure sales. So I think Chris is making a good point there.
Yeah. They do
Another thing I've seen too, like, Walmart seems to be getting really selective, and this goes to what John was saying a little bit. Like, yeah, they're not carrying hardly Micromasters or Battle Masters anymore. I don't know if they've carried that since Earthrise began, but especially during Siege, it got harder and harder to find a Walmart that was still carrying the Battle Master price point. It got to where in my area, using tools like Brixie, I could only find 3 or 4 in this whole part of the state. Like, 200 plus mile radius around where I am, 3 or 4 Walmarts were still carrying that price point. It's been hard for me to find personally Voyagers or Leaders for months at Walmarts. Like, they're supporting Deluxes pretty well, because I think cost versus performance, they're still doing okay, but it seems like anything beyond that, they're being really picky and not restocking frequently on that. So getting the exclusivity deal might have been another thing for Hasbro to be able to ensure that more than one price point got into the Walmart stores.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. The other thing, one last thing too, and again, this is just not saying this happened, but it can and it does, is that the buyers can surprise you and like go for your idea, your pitch way more than you expected. Mm-hmm. And then you have to shuffle SKUs around. So, that's when they're like, oh, really? So, Walmart adds another wave or two of Netflix toys, and now they're pulling SKUs from other lines. Kind of how we've surmised, like, hey, this stuff looks like it was meant for Earthrise, but now it's in Netflix. And some of that can be just them just trying to work out, like, how do we ship according to, like, this unexpected request from Walmart. So they're doing some shuffling.
Yeah, buyers are fickle. They could, 1 minute they may say, oh, I'm not interested. You have to drop your cost 20% for me to buy, or then the next day, because they think you have the greatest thing ever, and then want all of it. Okay, cool. What else we got going on? Thank God no more pops. We've skipped that one. So I don't necessarily need to show these, but so Siege Ratchet is a Takara Tomy Mall exclusive. Did I read that right?
Yeah, so I think what's happening here is because Ratchet appears in the Netflix series, they're releasing it based on that context. It has been strongly rumored that we are getting an Earthrise Ratchet as a Generation Selects figure somewhere down the line. I don't think it's on the current batch listing that we have that goes between Hubcap and Tiger Track. So it would be something past like GS20, I think. So probably January or February before that would come out.
I wish they would just release Ratchet like in a normal assortment, because they know everybody's going to buy it because it's G1 Ratchet. But
since they're releasing Ironhide as a store exclusive,
that's more reason to put Ratchet in a mainline release. Like, if you're going to do something in selects, do something off the line. Give us a tow line.
Yeah. But they're also doing Skywarp and Thundercrackers, all exclusive. That's
Yeah, so
weird.
if you got a good middleman and you weren't able to get that from a Target or from me, like it will be more expensive to do that through Takara Mall and a middleman service, but it is going to be another opportunity to get those seekers if you missed out on Target, which it seems like Target is done stocking them for the most part at this point. The website has not restocked, and I have not been able to determine store availability anywhere nearby for quite a while.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's surprising, really, honestly.
Yeah, I would have thought they would have had, a little bit more of those, but I guess on the other hand, it's sort of positive that they didn't stick around long enough to get deeply discounted like the Clone 2-pack did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where people were finding that for as little as like $12.50, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
maybe
because they
less.
clearanced it out way too fast. They didn't even give it a chance.
Yeah, I think that just had the misfortune too of hitting a little too close to a planogram reset.
Yeah.
If they would have just put that off like 3 weeks, it would have been golden.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think a lot of this got messed up due to COVID and shifting calendars and supply chain and all that stuff. Stuff definitely seems to be kind of a mess right now.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a technical question for those of you who would know. Does stuff get added to the planogram when it is ordered, or when it actually gets into the supply chain?
It's a design. So basically, the way planograms are designed as part of the overall strategy of the department or organization. So basically, Target's going to plan out a reset. They'll have transformers. It may not be that specific SKU, but it'll be that price point. So be like Transformers Deluxe, whatever, and it'll be written on the planogram as, a square that will fit up the right dimension. Something like that might come to an update, but there's going to be some sort of merchandising guideline that is shared on how to display, like the clones. Now with Target's way more advanced with their planograms and everything than my former company was. My former company, we were trying to catch up with Target on some of their merchandising technologies, but generally speaking, there's a strategy that the buyer has, the merchant has, and the way the planogram is drawn is part of that strategy, and things are slotted as part of the strategy for the department.
And
Okay.
in this specific case too, the Seekers and the Clones were both determined, at least by Target, to be part of a feature end cap that was going to run for about a month.
Yeah,
And the
Gotcha.
Seekers came in close to the start of that start date.
and
for
that's
that,
off cycle.
end cap set. The Clones took like 2 more weeks before they started entering the system, so they had a much shorter opportunity. And when that end cap would get deconstructed down for whatever the next feature is, the inventory's got to either be reincorporated somewhere or it gets clearanced out. And I guess in that case, it gets reincorporated into the clearance aisle.
Yeah, so
And especially since they had more exclusives coming in, those Cyberverse sets that we just found out about last week,
Yeah.
they went to clearance rather than taking up shelf space that was already determined for something else.
yeah, so
That makes sense.
yeah,
Okay.
so with something like that, you notice the end cap got put out instead of going into the section where the Transformer stuff normally is. So you notice that your Transformer section at Target that's been there hasn't changed in forever, for probably the last year. So that's part of the overall line design that the Target has. The Transformer stuff like Skywarp and Thundercracker, the clones, those are put on an end cap because that was something that sort of happened off cycle. But the planogram for that was drawn with those toys in mind.
Never even saw. I mean, maybe.
Your audio is completely crapping
Yeah,
out,
talk a little
diecast.
closer, I guess.
I don't even think it's that. I think his audio. I think it might be a short or something, diecast. We gotta have Don look at it.
Yeah. No, I never even saw the end cap at my Target.
No,
whether it was COVID
your Target may
related.
not have had an end cap.
Yeah.
Well, also, I was going to say real quick, the other thing too, like a couple things that like, yeah, like you guys are totally right about the end cap. The thing, and this goes back to like, Hasbro's numbers, is if COVID didn't happen, like that end cap was probably in Hasbro's, Q2 numbers. They were counting on that end cap. Like that's a year and a half ago. Like they sold that to the buyer, and so that goes into the the budget, and they're counting on that, and they're counting on a certain level of like execution, based on history. But then COVID happens, Targets close, they reopen, they change their hours of operation. They may furlough the guy who does end caps at their stores, and the execution level like drops like a rock. So your store may have supposed to have had the end cap, never got it, or they finally got it up and it was like a week before it comes down, and now it comes down because the guy who was on furlough, he's back. So now we're kind of back to what we're supposed to be doing. So like there's all kinds of things that wrecked programs like that, probably across the whole store.
And one of my local
and that
Target
ties into Hasbro's reduced earnings for this whole thing.
potentially, yeah. One of my local Targets had an end cap, and I was speaking to the person at Toys, like, yeah, we had that end cap. I needed the space, so I took it back. So, I mean, stuff like that happens. One thing to keep in mind, though, with an end cap, an end cap is super premium when it comes to what you have as far as cost. So, retailers, vendors, product manufacturers often will pay for that space, and usually the better the space, like an end cap, you walk into a store, and if the end cap is the first thing you see, pretty good idea that either the company, the retailer's super behind that product, they think it's going to be the greatest thing ever, or the manufacturer is paying for that space, and they're paying through the nose. So
Yeah, sure.
yeah, so
another trick. I'm not going to name retailers on this one, but this one happens too. So if you're a vendor and you want more shelf space, you can buy it.
Yes, sir.
From the retailer. And one of the things that dictates that price is you're basically buying the inventory of the other vendor. Like the retailer will say, that's cool, I've got $3 million in inventory from this other guy. If you buy that plus the cost of the shelf space, which I just make up, you can have it. And so you do the math and figure if it's worth it, but that's also how it kind of works.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that practice. I'm pretty sure that that's probably outside of the field that I was in, because normally the company that I worked for, if we didn't have the space for it, we would just clearance it and throw it somewhere. But yeah, that's interesting.
Brian.
Sorry.
They're very creative about monetizing like every possible piece of business for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Let's see here. Anything? Oh yeah, Windblade. There's a new design. I don't think it's that heavily touched up, and I don't think that it probably corrects the what had happened before. And Chris had just said something. He was muted.
I think they're just showing it from a different angle than before, mostly.
Yeah.
It has wings now.
Yeah. But Windblade, new model. They're not showing it from the back. So.
It looks a lot better than what we saw previously.
Yeah, sure. Looks about the same. Okay. Hey, tfradio.net/Amazon. You can buy stuff. I always love to point out, even though nobody ever buys it, except for Don, tfradio.net/Cadbury. Do we have like a good deal on Cadbury cream eggs right now? Yes, we do. I kind of want some. I've only purchased it twice, though, since April 17th, 2019. But one of those times was for Don. That was sent to Don, so... but tfradio.net/Amazon, you can buy whatever, and it helps us out, helps pay for things, keeps it going. It's pretty awesome. Want to thank our touched patrons at the touch level at patreon.com/tfradio. Beginning of the show, we talked about all the awesome stuff that we're adding to Patreon. But I want to give thanks to Kevin Dorsey, Sean Bratton, Jacob Owen Lucia, Sean Hamilton, Jason W. Rye, Mike Mallory, Jason Hiley, Jonathan James, Matthew Dedman, Hector Bones, Nathan Sampy, Spider Bob, Rabbits, Emmett Stresovich, Gaming Fix, Patrick Davidson, and Joey Russell. You guys are awesome. And that can be found at tfradio.net/credits. /credits. There's a bunch of slashes you can find us at patreon.com/tfradio, twitter.com/tfradio, facebook.com/tfradio, instagram.com/tfpodcast. There's a lot of places. You know where they are. We're basically everywhere. You can find show notes for this episode at tfradio.net/685. Don is not here, but he is on Twitter at HMRC number 4EVR. Rob Springer also not here. Robo Rob Springer, zonebase.org. John, how do people get a hold of you?
Oh, you catch me when I'm muted. I'm at that John D everywhere.
Yep. Chris.
I'm at playwithphotography.com, where I post galleries and articles and things about toys, toy photography, cameras, etc., etc. Any kind of collected works I have, I put there. As for more random unfocused things, well, they're always in focus, or that's my goal anyway. I don't usually post unfocused photos because I'm very particular about how my photos look, as anyone who follows me on social media knows. But for any kind of undirected efforts, on Instagram.com/playwithphotography or at playwithphotos on Twitter, I will post just random shots I've taken. Sometimes it's things I'm working on for galleries. Other times I just feel like playing with how my lights are arranged to see if I can make things look slightly incrementally different. That's probably perceptible to no one but myself, and I never end up getting anywhere with that, and they always just go back to where they started. So I'm not sure why I even do that in the first place. But if you'd like to send some help my way or support my neuroses, I'm on Patreon at patreon.com/playwithphotos. You can support what I'm doing for as little as $2 per month. You can follow me personally on Twitter at ChrisRTXV. I'm selling some stuff right now, so please take a look at that and buy things and give me money so that I can get other things I need and also get rid of some extra stuff. Or if you just want to do a random nice thing for me, I have an Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/ChrisList, where purchases from that will go back to helping the show run.
Yes, sir. Sweet. Rob.
Okay, on Twitter, I am currently publicly at Rob Flails. That is the official account of Flail Throughs, my YouTube channel. Currently still covering Gundam Battle Operation 2, which is doing the Double Zeta Gundam thing right now. The new update happens tonight at midnight, so tomorrow, or 1 a.m. rather. So tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, check out my channel to find out what they added to the game this week. Looking forward to seeing what it is, because I honestly have no idea. Also, a new Gundam game about to come out about the same time in the U.S. Gundam Extreme vs. Maxi Boost On, which is a mouthful and a half for the PS4.
You're just making things up now. You're just
no,
picking
Bandai
out
is.
words out of the air and stringing them together and calling it a game.
I wish, but that is about to come out in the U.S., which it's nice that most of the Gundam games actually come out here now. That is a nice change, and the ones that don't are generally available in English somewhere. But
thanks to Southeast Asia.
Yes, so I'm going to be trying to cover that sometime soon if I can. And beyond that, if you like what I'm doing there, patreon.com/flailthroughs. You can drop me a few bucks, request specific rounds in GBO2. And if you just want to do me a nice, tfradio.net/claylist, and same as with Chris, a small amount of that goes back into the operation of the show.
Yes, which go back into Rob and Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just the way we like it.
And we lost Matt. Diecast. Diecast is
muted.
Either muted or his audio is
No, he's
shut.
muted. I can see the icon.
There, I'm back. You can follow me on Twitter at Diecast2. You can like my Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast, and you can see all my reviews at tfradio.net/reviews.
Cool. Hey, I'm on Twitter at TFRadio. Wait, that's not me personally.
But you are on Twitter at
I am
TF Radio
Twitter at
also.
TF Radio, yeah.
Yeah.
At B Kilby, Instagram, Brian Kilby, and at briankilby.com. I I've been posting some stuff for sale recently. I'm moving. Need to get rid of crap. I'm actually checking my eBay right now. I am either currently selling or have sold in the last month like 80 things on eBay to move it. That's like the most I've ever sold on eBay. For me, that's a tremendous amount. I hate eBay, but I have gotten rid of so much stuff, and as I start moving some of these boxes, I probably should just not take some of them with me. So maybe I'll post more stuff. I really don't need to take all this stuff with me. Okay. We'll be back next week. Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Don't need to take it. So much stuff. Huh. Did I show the video? Did I show? I don't want to play the audio.
Okay, I'm in the unfinished
Welcome
basement.
back, Matt.
Welcome back, Matt.
Hey. Almost made it to the end of the show.
Almost. But the only thing you missed was, where can you find us? And we can't find you anywhere, so it's just as well.
Yeah.
So I'm showing off the unfinishedness of the basement. But
That's what you put on Twitter the other day, right?
oh, did I? Yeah.
The
Okay.
same one?
This is where I'm going to live. Not in the closet here.
Well, you
Wow,
could. I mean,
Your basement looks a lot like what my basement looks like right now.
It's very much.
did yours have
finished.
windows like that, Matt?
No.
Is it going to be finished, Brian?
Yeah, I'm going to finish it. So that what you're looking at right now is going to be the projector, the media room. Then the one to the right, that I keep moving away from, that is going to be my office. And right where I'm in right now is the gym. But yeah, projector, the screen's going to be right there.
Now, do you have a walkout basement, or is
Yeah.
it a...
I can walk out, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I might as well just live here. That's the office.
Yeah, I only have the two windows, and I made sure the area set up for my collection room does not have a window.
Yeah.
So there will
Yeah, my office is not. Yeah, my
horrible
office.
outside light.
Yep, my office. It'll have a door, but the door's gonna be closed. So the only thing like you'll have in there that could get light on it will be like the 1-up cabinets, which I don't care. And the rest of it, like that room right there, is gonna be all weights and stuff, and I don't care. Yeah, I'll just be living there. But the show will be produced probably from there. In the unfinishedness of it, the echoey unfinishedness. So I'm going to have to figure out some creative ways to get rid of the echo. And there's a complete shortage of outlets. And that PEX pipe there is going to have to get extended and moved over so that it goes through the wall. But yeah, this room right here is where all the toys are going to be. That's 13 by 13.
If you had them finish it, wouldn't
The builder's not going to finish it.
the builder's not going to finish it?
No, they're done. They are not going to touch or finish it. So I'm going to have to.
You opted out. You opted out of that, right?
I mean, I bought the house. I mean, I didn't have the house built. The house was built when we bought it. I mean, they're not the builder's not. They're touching up.
Yes, but you opted out of having the builder finish the basement.
They didn't give me the option. I mentioned it, and they said no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said, hey.
That's how I was taking what he was saying. Also, that the builders were not giving him that choice.
Yeah, no, the builder's not doing it. I have to do it myself.
The builder declines.
The builder declines. It's not an option that they give with that. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'll have to do it myself. Not a big deal. My brother's done a ton of
You
stuff like that.
say that.
Well,
but
no.
I am like 4 years later.
My goal is to have it done by Christmas, I think.
I had goals too, Brian.
Yeah. Well, my father-in-law is, among many things, he was an engineer and a carpenter. He's done a million different things. But my brother also is really handy with carpentry and stuff.
So
So,
it's less that you're planning to do this and more that you're planning to enlist family to have it done.
yeah. Actually, I'll be honest with you. That's what I'm saying now. I'm just going to pay to have somebody do it. I'm setting the funds aside to pay to have it done.
It's probably more reliable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My office. So I'm going to pay somebody to do the flooring. And I'm going to pay somebody to do this drop ceiling. Wiring, I'll do myself.
Yeah, that's a great plan.
I'm not. Wiring is easy. And I'm probably I'm gonna have people do the drywall for the other two rooms, but my office I'm actually thinking about using pegboard as the wall. And
I remember you saying that in the video. I think.
Yeah, painting it and putting pegboard up. Or putting pegboard up and painting it. That way, it'll look nice. It'll be geometric. And I can basically put up all of my toys and pictures and crap without having to put holes in the wall. And I can change it at will. Yeah, I don't want to do sheetrock and all that stuff myself. I have that's not my skill. That's not my skill set.
It's not fun either.
That I'm going to pay for. I'll probably have my father-in-law help maybe with the flooring. But I'm excited about it. And, I was planning on having, like, a podcast space up where we could have, like, multiple people come over and record. But that'll never happen again, thanks to COVID. So
certainly not anytime soon.
Yeah. Like, I haven't even recorded the RPG podcast in 8 months. So, but I do want to have an area. If nothing else, we'll use it to record the Christmas album. Me and the kids.
Yes, you need a studio down there, Brian.
Yep. I'm already thinking about wiring it for. So I'll be using coax. Pardon me. I'll be using Ethernet as much as possible to run things like audio. So I'm already thinking through how I'm going to wire it for running XLR over Ethernet. Yeah. So instead of now, the way I have it now, I would have multiple stations. I've had, like, in the basement, I had a place to record here, my office, and another spot over on the other side of the office. I'm going to have one spot where you actually record and have all the audio equipment. And then, like, microphones could get put anywhere, and I just patch it back and forth. So.
Interesting idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to run.
Okay.
I'll see you guys.
Diecast, really quick.
Yeah.
Did you see where Hasbro snuck out a Dino Charge Black Ranger in the Lightning Collection?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to Targets right now.
Targets, yeah. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you saw
looks
that.
Good too.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, Diecast.
Diecast.
Right. Okay. Trying to find the heart for Jared's comment, but the emojis are failing me. Okay, I'll do the have Don come help with the audio setup. Bravo.
Yes, indeed.
Bravo. Yeah, but when it's all possible in the basement, I'm going to wire Ethernet across and have the panels marked so that I know what's what, and I can patch audio or even HDMI across it if I need to.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea.
And I'll be living there for the rest of my life, hopefully.
So would Kim have a problem if Don just kind of showed up unannounced as like a housewarming, visitor? Stay a couple nights?
Do you want me to be nice, or do you want to know the truth?
I want it to happen, and then you can tell me how it actually went down.
I don't think she wants anybody to show up unannounced.
That's
planning
fair.
to stay.
Oh yeah, that's the reason why. Right. That's the problem.
Oh, I am fully, like, other than, like, my mother-in-law and maybe my nephews, I'm fully expecting that Diecast will be our first guest. Because he's been talking about coming back down for a while. I would prefer the basement be finished before he comes down. But I just don't see Don coming down to visit. Stay. Like, Don, we even, like, after his mother passed, I invited him to Thanksgiving and other things. He never took me up on it, but he always said that he might. But especially now that he has a girlfriend, he is less inclined to do anything like that. Plus, Don comes down with the sickness. Wahahaha. He's drowning. What is it? Deep in a sea of loathing. Yeah.
Aw.
That's the stupid song by Disturbed.
It's still too on the nose. Come on.
I don't think he's drowning deep in a sea of loathing anymore. I think he's pretty happy.
Yeah, I'm the one in the sea of loathing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's room for two in there.
Yeah.
It's a sea.
The sea seats two.
Mm-hmm.
That's some kind of poetry, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
Get up, come on,
Yeah,
get
right.
down with the donness. You mother, get up, come on, get down with the donness. That's awesome.
Interesting discussion. Maybe this is stuff for like random Patreon podcasts that
This is a random Patreon podcast. This is a post show.
It really is.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
It really is. I was talking to somebody who works in toy retail, and we were talking about like online product pages and like the layout of online product pages. Because yeah, sure, why not? And he and I we weren't debating, but we were kind of like pondering the need for any kind of product description at this point for certain things on certain sites. Like how many people actually read the product description when you put up a pre-order for like Double Dealer on a site?
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
Like, is that even necessary? Can we just put the price, the name? Do we even need the name? Let's just put like a picture of this,
I mean, so
sometimes they screw up the pictures, so it's nice to have the description to know what you're actually.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is true, but we also are presuming that only collectors buy this stuff, and
but conversely, do non-collectors care about any of that product copy?
I think they would want to know the name. I think that.
Well, I don't think we're saying don't put
yeah,
the.
I mean,
I don't think we were realistically saying don't put the name of the product on the page.
Generic product copy of just as far as like the assortment or the brand, I think is. I mean, is there anything beyond that currently?
I think there is.
There's
You
the
don't read
flavor text and everything.
Yeah, there is, but you don't read it. That's the point.
Yeah,
You're like, I'm
right.
not
That's what
sure
I
if
thought
it's
John was
there.
talking about. The flowery prose that they attach to.
So my former company, that text that you call flavor text, we called romance text.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you need it?
When I said that the first time, I meant to say something more like flowery prose, like I did when I revisited that. But flavor text was the only thing that actually came out.
I mean, it's same gist, but like the technical term. I don't know if it's an industry term, but the technical term is romance text.
Yeah. Open the door, get on the floor, everybody walk the dinosaur.
Or the other thing we were talking about too, and man, I just need to like find some time to like
Record podcasts?
Photoshop do dumb fan art of Transformers packaging. But we were also musing about like how at this point like Transformers packaging is like anti-advertising. Like at this point, they're trying so hard not to tell you about not telling you anything about Transformers or the character that's in the box or anything. It's like anti-advertising, and we all had thoughts on that. So,
is this somebody like randomly on the internet? Somebody you know?
No, this is a guy who I don't want to drop his name. Are we streaming?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm not dropping his name, but he has influence over things.
Is he someone you used to know professionally?
No,
Effectively?
no, but I've known him no, we never knew each other professionally, but we know each
Okay.
other socially for years.
Oh,
But
okay.
I have no idea who it is then.
Anyway, and so just kind of like laugh / crying about stuff like my favorite line right now is the Studio Series Constructicons, Which, hello, does anybody even realize like they can like what are they telling you other than this random like headshot of Devastator on the side of the box? I think there's literally nothing else to tell you they combine into anything.
Although there is an argument that may have been on purpose because they're releasing them over the course of like 18 months. And, if you get one or two in the middle, it's to keep it from being like, especially from the parent point of view, like, oh, this toy is incomplete because you don't have these 24 others or whatever. Like that logic came up on something previously in Transformers specifically, but I can't remember what.
There's logic there. That logic makes things worse.
Oh, no, I agree it makes it worse, but I feel like there is like an internal rationale for why that otherwise like important it was the Power of the Prime stuff that had the combining features but was often unadvertised on the packaging.
Yes, it's tremendous. Oh, the other random thing that delighted, things that irritated John or were notable to John this week. So NECA had the NECA guy had a podcast with Pixel Dan, I think like last Friday. Anyway, they talked about the target issues and the bots issues. A lot of not apologizing, just describing like what happened. So that was cool. And they are doing like a thing now with Toka and Razar or Razar, however you want to pronounce it. But the two villains.
The movie used it both ways, so there is no right answer.
All right. So they are doing those like as store exclusives on their own site, and they're doing pre-orders for a week, so they will produce as many as are pre-ordered. So that's good. But so that's good. The bad was he did say, I can't believe he said this out loud. I was having flashbacks to Brian Savage. But he did say that one of the reasons they don't produce a certain number of toys isn't just contractually, is that they don't want to flood the market and affect, get this, they don't want to hurt people who are investing in these toys as a future investment. Holy shit. Anyway, so my gum hit the floor. I couldn't believe he was saying that. I also can't believe he's legitimizing like toys as like an investment, like a retirement plan.
I thought you were going to say just imagine how bad this is for us.
Man,
I bet at some point somewhere that has come up in their quote unquote official discourse.
Yeah,
we just haven't encountered it yet.
Yeah, for sure. But to just throw that out there, like we don't want to hurt people who are like investing in their future through NECA Target exclusive Godzilla. Heaven forbid.
Lame.
No, but like 2 weeks ago now, I don't even remember because time has kind of lost all meaning.
It is the fire in which we burn.
Yeah, thank you. No, but when I did that long thread on Twitter about the pre-order shenanigans and how everything's the dumpster fire and there's not really making it any better, like the thing that I suggested and that I would want to see basically across the board, like, yeah, pre-orders 6 to 8 months in advance, everything's made to order with, a cushion for some on-shelf product and also some replacement product for the inevitable defects. But like, always there will be enough for as many people as want to pre-order it within like remote reason.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and and he implied that if this pre-order test goes well, that they kind of have in their head that they have a HasLab level stuff like vehicles and things like that in their head that they could do that they know a retailer would never take, but that's all well and good. But again, just to be like, come on, guys, like what are we talking about here? Like investing in toys and like keeping that sliver of the market like happy and not hurting the collector. It's like these are pieces of plastic. Come on, guys. We're just having fun here. Like, don't
Yeah, I just want to put it on the shelf back there and look at it and maybe get it down and fiddle with it every now and then. That's
yeah. I mean, anyway, so Anyway, points. I'm gonna say like it was a net 0 on that interview. Like +5 here, -5 there. But it was a very very strange interview for sure.
Hey, so it's the bottom of the hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and kill the stream. Pre-show over. People, it's late. We went long. We'll see you next week. We love you.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.